Are you moving to Madrid and you're wondering about which ones are the best neighborhoods you can look at? Well, in this video, I'm going to show you my favorite 5 neighborhoods right here in Madrid, Spain, so stay tuned! What's up, everybody? This is Pablo Jurado from the Keller Williams Realty Group in the northwest of Madrid. I've been living here in Madrid for over 30 years and I live and love this city every single day. Today, I'm going to talk about 5 different neighborhoods which are just awesome to live in. But this doesn't mean that they are the best for you. Madrid is a very big city with over 3.5 million people just in downtown districts. And there are a lot of great areas to look at depending on your needs and tastes. So if you're thinking of moving to the Madrid Metro, please give us a call, send us an email, or fill out the form in our website livinginmadridspain.com. You have the information in the description down below. And be clear that we absolutely love to help people relocate or invest in the Madrid area, and that we can make that transition so much easier for you. Okay, so let's dive into it. So the first thing you need to know is the criteria we have followed to choose these specific neighborhoods. Because we didn't want to make a ranking from 5 to 1 simply because Madrid has so many different great areas that it will depend on your lifestyle. Therefore, we have chosen 2 districts that are specifically good for families and 2 that are for general public. Don't matter if it's a family, a couple, or a single. In each of those groups, we have chosen a neighborhood in which average people are considered high rent and another for mid rents. The 5th neighborhood is the Central District, simply because a lot of people love to live in the middle of the action, and Madrid's Central District is simply amazing if you really want to live the city lifestyle to the full. And in fact, I want to start with this last one. The Center District is very wide and we divide it into 6 different neighborhoods, all of them with its own idiosyncrasy. But all of them have 2 things in common. They have a huge amount of leisure and entertainment venues, such as shops, stores, cafes, and discos or bars, and they are all areas of great influx. But there are people who like this lifestyle and consider it a great option to live. Therefore, we have the neighborhoods of Sol at the very center of the city, Malasaña, Universidad, the bohemian and hipster neighborhood, Chueca, Justicia, the LGBTQ+ area, and a very chic neighborhood, Huertas, Cortes, also known as Barrio de las Letras, Lavapiés, Embajadores, the most eclectic and least expensive of the 6 neighborhoods, and Palacio, the most traditional neighborhood and possibly the best tourist trap in Madrid too. If you want a brief overview about all of them, you have it in this video up here, so please have a look at it. But I want to go straight to my personal favorite, which is Cortes. Can you imagine a neighborhood where you have art, literature, history, bars and restaurants, live music, theaters, amazing shopping, great nightlife, and the best walkability in the city? Welcome to Huertas. It's called Cortes because it's the home to the Spanish courts or the Spanish Parliament, the epicenter of political life in Madrid. But in fact, this quarter is commonly known as Barrio de Huertas or Barrio de las Letras. The Barrio de las Letras, literary neighborhood, bears its name as a tribute to the great writers who inhabited these streets in the golden age of Spanish literature. Cervantes, Quevedo, or Lope de Vega walked and lived in this area, which is nowadays one of the most popular neighborhoods in Madrid due to the charm of its pedestrian streets and its many shops and restaurants that make it especially lively on weekends. From the Plaza de Santa Ana, famous for its terraces and tapas bars, streets such as Huertas run downhill to the Paseo del Prado, whose cobblestones bear engraved quotes from the greatest Spanish writers. Beside the fact that you have the main Madrid museums just beside this neighborhood to the east, as you may imagine, some of the art and culture points of interest in Huertas are deeply related to its literature and cultural circles in the past centuries, like the Ateneo de Madrid or the Lope de Vega House Museum. But you also got Caixa Forum, a cultural center dedicated to temporary exhibitions. But you got also theaters, photography and art galleries, and many streets activities throughout the year. And if you're a foodie, you might think you're in a paradise just by walking around the Barrio de las Letras. You have many options, starting by the typical Spanish tapas around a beer and a nice conversation, to a couple of Michelin awarded restaurants. You have literally hundreds of options to choose from. You have international restaurants from lots of different countries and cultures. You have veggie restaurants, you have pasta restaurants, anything you can think of. And if you enjoy nightlife, you won't get bored here, no matter your age and tastes. Here you will find some of the coolest pubs and discos for young people, but also oldish taverns to have a wine and exclusive terraces to drink the best cocktails in town. Not to speak about live music bars. There are so many different styles like jazz bars, flamenco shows, and many more. Housing here means searching for an old-style classical building whose condos have been redone in a modern style. It might not be the neighborhood I'd recommend for a family if they're looking for a quieter place, but singles and couples with a mid-high to high rents will enjoy living here for sure. Okay, the second neighborhood I'm going to talk about is Las Tablas and Sanchinarro. Now we're moving to a completely different neighborhood. In fact, this is not one neighborhood, there are two different neighborhoods, but they are so similar to each other that we can say that they're twins separated by a highway. So we have Las Tablas to the west of A1 highway and Sanchinarro to the east. Both Las Tablas and Sanchinarro are in the northern limit of what we consider Madrid downtown. These are residential areas built in the early 2000s, and they have grown exponentially since then as they are home to some of the biggest companies in Spain. Telefónica, the biggest mobile operator in Spain, BBVA, one of the biggest Spanish banks, car companies like BMW or Peugeot, techie companies like Huawei or Capgemini. There is so much work here that it's not surprising that many people want to relocate to these two areas. 70% of the condos here are from 100 to 160 square meters with 2 or 3 bedrooms and 2 bathrooms. So housing here means looking for a mid-sized condo inside a big private residential development, including communal gardens and pools, gym, paddle court, storage rooms, parking spaces, and that sort of facilities. Plus, these two areas are quite near to some of the most prestigious international schools in Madrid. Isn't it a perfect place to raise your kids with no worries? These large residential buildings run along wide and long avenues that also alternate with parks and green spaces. And if you want to go out, well, you have also shopping malls, cycling lines that connect both with the city and the mountains, supermarkets, medical centers, hospitals, and in general, all sorts of primary services. Maybe it's a little dependent on the car to make your everyday shopping, but on the other hand, you won't find many places like this if you're looking for a peaceful, young and familiar neighborhood. Okay, now we're moving to Legazpi, which is one of the 7 neighborhoods in Arganzuela district, right to the south of the center district. Arganzuela is currently one of the most interesting options to live in Madrid. A central and well-connected district, but with the tranquility of living in a neighborhood without the stress of tourist influx, and with important sports and cultural incentives and lots of green areas. The whole district is great and all of its neighborhoods have their own charm, but I chose Legazpi because it's the most modern of them all. Now, housing here is focused on young families and couples, or maybe couples having their first kids that really appreciate what the neighborhood has to offer. What I mean by this is that condos are pretty small on average, where 80% of them will not exceed the 3 dorms 120 square meters apartment. The good thing though is that many of them will also be in private residential developments, including communal pool, paddle court, storage rooms, parking spaces, etc. Maybe not so big areas and not so big condos as you can find in Las Tablas that I just mentioned. But the great thing about this neighborhood, you will find it outside. And what exactly is that you're going to find outside? Let's start with the huge green spaces with beautiful Tierno Galván Park in the middle of the neighborhood. And Madrid Rio is also in a 5 to 15 minute walk. They are literally the epicenter of the leisure and sports activities of the neighborhood. There are 30 kilometers of cycling paths that connect with the greater cycling paths of Madrid, like the Green Ring, but it also has a BMX track, a skate park, a climbing wall and climbing school, 3 football pitches, paddle, tennis and multi-sports courts, and even the possibility to practice rowing in the river. Other than sports, kids will find in Madrid Rio their favorite playground. There are no less than 17 children's play areas, including the log jungle, the slides hill, and the super zipline that will delight the little ones and not so little. And if you're more into culture than into sports, you will love Matadero de Madrid, a former slaughterhouse built in 1921 and fully renovated to become a space dedicated to contemporary art and culture. Theaters, music clubs and bars, and a great gastronomic offer sum up to this neighborhood's charm. And from this point, we're now moving to the west of Madrid. Aravaca is a perfect area to live with your family, with quality homes, green areas, and well connected to the center of Madrid. Living here means to be in one of the 21 districts of Madrid downtown, but with the look and feel of a high-standard residential suburb. In Aravaca, we find three different areas, which are the village, with narrow streets and a bit older houses in blocks of flats, boutiques and shops, and local commerce. The station area, where you will find semi-detached houses, beautiful urbanizations, suburban train station, and leisure. And Valdemarín, the most recently built area where there are independent houses, pleasant urbanizations, and trendy restaurants. In both the station area and Valdemarín, you will see wide and tree-lined avenues and lots of green areas. There are many schools, hospitals, restaurants, and shopping malls, without forgetting some of the best private sports clubs in Madrid, with golf courses, paddle courts, and big swimming pools. Having a car, though, is highly recommended. Aravaca has become a reference residential area, and there are many families who decide to set up their home there. Having a house in Aravaca is synonymous with a quiet, clean, and safe life. The area is surrounded by one of the largest green areas in Madrid. Breathing smoke-free air, walking without noise, or hardly any vehicle traffic will make you and your family enjoy the time you spend together better. And although Spain is a very safe country in general, Aravaca has one of the lowest crime rates in the country. If you work in the city and you have to go there every day, obviously you should speed up your journeys. A house in Aravaca allows you to be in the center of Madrid in a few minutes, thanks to its proximity and excellent combination of public transport, such as the metro, the commuter train, or the bus. In a few minutes you will be in the heart of the city. And it is no surprise that there is a huge community of international families in Aravaca, especially from the United Kingdom and the United States, since the best and most reputable international schools are located in this area. You will have a great educational offer if you choose to relocate in Aravaca. But if you're looking for a neighborhood that not only has everything, but has the best, if you're interested in living in a top-notch central area with all the comforts and services at your fingertips, living in Barrio de Salamanca is one of the best options you can think of. Here you can play sports in open air in one of the most beautiful parks in the world, the Retiro Park, or you can shop at the most exclusive brand stores or soak up the art and culture that floods this incredible neighborhood. The district of Salamanca is divided into 6 different neighborhoods, being those located farther to the west and close to the center, the most exclusive and expensive in all Madrid. As you move to the east, you will find somewhat more affordable prices, though still in the mid-high range. These neighborhoods are Recoletos, Castellana, Goya, Lista, Fuente del Berro, and Guindalera. Unlike the other districts I've mentioned, this time I'm not going to recommend a specific neighborhood for 2 reasons. The first one being that the whole district is awesome and offers lots of things to do. And second, it will basically depend on the size of your pocket, because in Recoletos you will be paying around 9.5 thousand euros per square meter, and condos there are usually very big. While in Guindalera you will be paying less than half the price and less than half the size. So there is so much offer in terms of size and prices that it can fit a wide range of people. As for arts and culture, there are several theaters, art galleries, and museums that fit very well with the district's prominent style. But maybe the most important of them all is called the National Archaeological Museum. In its rooms, you can see pieces from the ancient Egypt, Greek ceramic, or Roman sculptures, along with a rich collection of Iberian sculptural art, among which is the main protagonist of the museum, the Lady of Elche. It is 100% accessible and also has a large and open terrace during the summer. On the other hand, we can also find the modern Wissing Center, the multi-purpose pavilion that does not only house the basketball ACB League and EuroLeague matches for the Real Madrid and Estudiantes, but also becomes the stage for the best international music artists who play there. As you can imagine, the gastronomic offer in Barrio de Salamanca follows the same path of elegance and distinction, counting with no less than 4 restaurants awarded with a Michelin star, among many other places where you can taste the best dishes from both Spanish and international food. And although the district is relatively calm at night, there are numerous nightlife options, from places where you can have a beer or a wine after work to the most glamorous nightclubs in the city. But what about schooling here? Well, there are indeed some very good international schools in the district, but if you want your kids to go to a specific school, there are more than 40 international schools in Madrid, and most of them have school buses that have several stops at the Barrio de Salamanca streets, so you won't have to worry about that. And this is it. As you see, there is not one neighborhood that is better than the others. You just need to find that place that best fits your expectancies. As I said, we're local real estate experts here, and if you have questions, if you're thinking of moving to Madrid Metro, reach us any way you want. We'd love to help you out and answer those questions to find your ideal place to live. But there is only one way that we can help you to find your perfect location, and that is by you reaching out to us. Give us a call, send us an email, or fill out the form in our website, livinginmadridspain.com. You have all the information in the description down below. However you do it, we got you covered when moving to the Madrid Metro. And also check out our other videos, and don't forget to subscribe to our channel and press the ring bell to receive notifications about all our upcoming content. Until the next video, catch you later!